Okay, gents, you ready? It's 9. Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. We'd like to get started with the pledge and the prayer, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Gracious Lord, as we come before you this day at this meeting, we just ask you to be with us and bless us and guide us as we deliberate and make decisions that are in the best interest of the people of this community. We ask you to be with all of our employees, keep them safe and sound, be with travelers as they travel through our community. We just ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Whew, it's a whirlwind morning. Yeah. Mic's on. Yeah, lights on. Good morning, Marcia. Glad you could join us. I got a bad chair today, I think.
Uh-oh.
So if you want to open them.
Okay, sure. I got my pocket
Okay,
knife.
you ready?
I figured you'd say that.
Good morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Entertain a motion for signing of the claims and minutes.
I make a motion to approve.
Brad's not with us today. Okay,
We're still waiting on Brad, I think.
okay. Brad's going to join us remotely, I think, if we can get him up. He's awake. We've been talking with him already, so he's not sleeping in. Now go get him. Okay, I think we'll. Okay. We have a quorum. We'll proceed with county business today. First off would be County Highway Superintendent Steve Moriarty.
We didn't vote on the claims.
Okay, yeah, let's do that before we move on. Entertain a vote.
We don't need to do a verbal vote, or should we start with a verbal, Rhonda? Oh, there he is.
Okay. Good
I'm
morning.
sorry, it would not let me in. It said the host has another meeting in progress, so I kept trying.
Thank you for joining us, Brad. Appreciate you. We have a motion for the signing of the claims and minutes. Is there a second?
Second,
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. County Clerk Ann Torpy.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ann.
I'm just here to get approval to enter into an agreement or allowing a moving company, Geyer the Mover, to help us deliver voting machines the day before Election Day and collecting them the day after Election Day, since they have grown in size and gained a lot of weight. It's a little harder for our volunteers to do this.
No, I make a motion to approve this, and I know that that's something we had concerns about when we looked at these units. Pretty much the new voting machines have the paper ballot attached. That whole mechanism is all in one package, which makes it nice, but they are heavy. So I make a motion to approve.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? I think it's a good idea to do that for a multitude of reasons, but one of the major reasons for my concern is the security aspect.
Yes.
If they take them, they're responsible for them.
Right, yes.
So we don't touch them except to do the voting, and that's it.
Yes.
And so that's a good process, I think.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, and keep up the good work. Systems Administrator Bob Momeyer.
Morning, Bob.
Morning.
Okay, let's go with what you got, and then Steve. We got off track just, so we haven't forgotten you. We'll be back to you. And we didn't forget the sheriff. He's doing some more tweaking on his thing he's got to present, and he'll present that at a later date, if you have an agenda with you.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Bob.
morning.
Here today to request renewal of our Sophos MDR service that we contract out. We usually do that on a 3-year basis because of the pricing advantages for that. That is coming up for renewal here this year, and I'd like approval to proceed with that. The cost for 3 years of Sophos antivirus licensing and all their service that they provide for us in that area is $108,965.
You've got that in your budget?
It is in the contracts budget.
Okay. Very good.
Well, I know in today's world.
That's for the full 3 years.
That's for 3 years, payable up front, but 3 years of coverage. Their per year price
Sorry,
is
sir.
56, so we're basically getting 3 years for the price of 2.
Okay,
by
very good.
renewing in a multi-year contract.
I'm sure taxpayers appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, do you have a motion?
You want to make that, Brad?
I'd make a motion. I'd make a motion to accept this.
Second that.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Okay. Steve Moriarty, come on down. I got to apologize for skipping over you. I don't know how I could do that. You used to be the last on the agenda. Now you're the first, so I kind of got that.
Yeah, it wasn't all your fault. Yeah.
There you go. I like that. You
I
like that?
have.
You like that, Nate?
I have 2 things to bring before you today. And these are our recommendations that we accept these bids for the Community Crossings 23-2. The first one is going to be for Finn and Brown. They were awarded, they were the low bidder for $781,750. And this is for paving of Old 30 from County Road 450 east to the city limits. Also Ogden Point from South Ward to Sunrise Drive. Seth Ward Drive from Eli Lilly Road to Ogden Point. And then also Sunrise Drive from Ogden Point to the end. And one more street is Rosella Street from Ogden Point to the end. This is my recommendation for the road portion of Community Crossings 23-2.
Okay. Very good.
I'd make a motion to approve the acceptance of Finn and Brown's bid. I know that these community crossing dollars are dollar for dollar match, so
Yeah.
pretty much we're getting 50% match dollars with
Big
the,
bucks.
from the state.
Okay. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Thanks, Steve.
The second thing that I have brought before you is another bid, and we opened all these bids on the 20th on a special meeting, public hearing to accept all bids and take them under advisement. When we went through them, this is on my recommendation. This is the lowest bid for the construction of Small Structure 320, which is a bridge located on T26. This is also would be the first one that we've done on a Community Crossings before. And for the total amount of construction went to R.L. McCoy Incorporated, and that was for $776,713.96. I would like you to accept that, please.
Okay.
Brad, do you want to do that one?
Yeah, I would make a motion we accept that.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by
Or-
saying aye. Any further discussion, Brad? No? Okay. All in
Nope,
favor,
thank you.
go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead, Bob. That's fine.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Thank you very much. That's all I have today.
I know every time we drive down Old 30, Finn and Brown did the eastern portion to the county line, and it's just like a black ribbon. It's so smooth, and it's good to see them get that as well, so.
Thank you very much.
especially if you drive Corvettes down that road. Right?
We know what that's about.
Yeah.
I'm not mentioning the names, but Steve, it's nice, isn't it? It's- Okay. Kip Shooter, Emergency Management Director.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is just information for the commissioners and for press that Governor Holcomb has proclaimed March 10th through the 16th, 2024 as Severe Weather Preparedness Week. Tuesday of that week, March 12th at 10:15 will be the statewide tornado drills throughout the state. And our county will be included in that to set off the tornado sirens. Yet to be determined if we end up doing a tornado drill within the county administration itself. But
Okay,
just wanted that information out to you so you know that's going to be coming up
okay,
in 2 weeks.
very good.
Great.
Hopefully we'll get that done and not have a bad weather day that day.
That's true.
It's happened
If we do
before.
have a bad weather that day, it's the next day.
Yeah, yeah. It looked like tornado weather and we did tornado drills. It's like,
Right, right.
yeah. Okay, thank you, Kip.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Okay, is it 9:15? 9:11. We have 4 minutes. We need to wait until 9:15 for area plan. Their business is time sensitive, so we need to wait a couple minutes on that.
Bob, if you want me to address the travel policy, I could go ahead and do that now.
Would you please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have a amended ordinance for a travel policy, so the little bit of dotting of i's and crossing of t's. The Indiana State Board of Accounts has asked us to make this amendment. I'll read the applicable portions of the ordinance and submit it to the commissioners for consideration. Whereas the board previously passed ordinance 19-08-06-002, the 2019 ordinance regarding meal reimbursement, and a question has arisen regarding whether the 2019 ordinance allows for the reimbursement of, quote, kitchen gratuities, close quote, or other similar items added onto a bill by the restaurant. The 2019 ordinance is attached. 2, the 2019 ordinance does allow for the reimbursement of gratuities, which would include kitchen gratuities. However, the board desires to amend the 2019 ordinance to specify that kitchen gratuities and other similar charges may be reimbursed. Now, therefore, the following is hereby ordained by the board. 1, Section 4 of the 2019 ordinance is hereby amended and restated to read as follows. Section 4, that in addition to mileage and room allowance, each official, deputy, or assistant shall be entitled to full reimbursement equal to the actual cost of the meal, excluding alcohol, but including without limitation gratuities, kitchen gratuities, sales tax, and other similar charges. 2, the 2019 ordinance did allow for the reimbursement of gratuities, which would include, quote, kitchen gratuities. However, to avoid any uncertainties, any reimbursement previously made by the county that would have been allowed under Section 1 above of the 2019 ordinance is hereby ratified and approved. That's submitted for consideration.
Okay. Did you vote on that?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve that we add that kitchen gratuity to our travel policy to make sure we're able to reimburse our servers and kitchen staff.
Okay. It's been,
I would second that.
any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Okay. Thank you. Got 1 minute. If you want to go ahead. Area Plan Director, Matt Sandy. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, guys. We're bringing to you 2 recommendations on rezonings this morning, and the first one we have is for wacky rezoning. And my files from falling off here, that'll be good. Look at the map. We are on the north side of James Lake, Tippecanoe Township. Right there, outlined in the blue, is the area in question. Best known, this was the old Baptist camp property up on north side of James Lake. Currently, the property is owned public use because it was a camp. There's that, and then there's actually one small piece of park area that's south of there that's part of Long's Park. That is being sought to be rezoned from public use to residential. Looking at the map, you'll see some residential in shaded in yellow. Unshaded is agricultural. Lane that goes all the way up is actually privately owned. It is a private lane. Any development would have to be addressed at that point off of that. But ultimately, the recommendation was an 8-0 rezoning for the entire acreage right there to go from public use to residential.
Okay. Anyone here to speak in favor of?
Steve Snyder on behalf of the petitioner. When the Baptist camp closed down, they put the property on the market for sale. It's primed for development. A lovely piece of real estate. That development is in process as we speak. So once the zoning is approved to residential, the next step will go back to the Plan Commission, ultimately for final plat approval.
Okay, very good. Anyone else here to speak in favor of? Anyone in opposition to? Hearing none, we'll close the meeting to the public. What's your thoughts?
I guess the only question I had, Steve, so I know the area you're showing that's changing zoning currently, the other residential, that's going to meet the criteria for the future? Because eventually there'll be a plat for the whole property that'll come to us in the future.
Correct. Everything that's either green or yellow now, the yellow's obviously already zoned residential. This will rezone the entire parcel to residential, and the entire thing will be platted. There may be a possibility of a sale off of a small tract to an adjacent owner, but otherwise it'll all be part of the plan.
Okay, appreciate that. This was an 8-0 vote, looks like.
8-0, yes.
Brad, you want to make a motion, or I want me to? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to me. I'll go ahead and make the motion that we accept the unanimous recommendation of area plan.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Okay, Matt.
All right. Got one more for you, and I'll swap you out maps here. We're gonna go from James Lake up to Webster Lake, and this is for Gregory Smith. This is a rezoning request to go from agricultural to agricultural 2. Property's outlined in blue as before, and we're looking at roughly about almost 13 and a half acres. What they're looking at doing is rezoning this from ag to ag 2. You'll see on the map, you've got some green to the north and to the east. That is the DNR property there. You've got the residential down by the lakeside there. Smith's Mobile Home Park, if you're familiar with it. Ultimately, petitioner did submit and actually committed to only 2 lots off of this. So that's what the Planning Commission was looking at as a self-imposed condition to rezone this from ag to ag 2. That did have a favorable recommendation of 8-0. So they did recommend to rezone.
Make it easy.
So there's one house currently, so we're only adding one additional home. on the
Exactly.
property.
And that was the self-imposed that they offered up at the hearing, so.
Okay.
Okay,
Steve Snyder on behalf of the Smiths. As Matt indicated, 2 lots maximum. I have a voluntary condition signed by the Smiths that should be attached to the rezoning ordinance. Simple process. It's time to downsize. But Greg likes where he's at, so we need a second lot in order for him to build a smaller house. And there were no sales off left, so we go to Ag 2 with a 2-lot limitation.
okay, very good, thank you. Anyone here to speak in favor of? Anyone in opposition to? Hearing none, we'll close the meeting to the public.
I make a motion to approve the recommendation, or approve this plat according to the recommendation, or zoning according to the recommendation of area plan.
Okay, it's been moved, is there a second?
I would second that.
It's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Gary Groninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
Okay, very good, thank you.
That's all I have for you.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Are you,
Ready to start the bid opening then, Bob?
yes. We have the employee parking lot expansion redevelopment bids. We'll open those bids now.
First bid is from Niblock Excavating. Total base bid amount of $866,055, with an alternate number 1 for a total of $899,831.
Those will be available for inspection after the meeting if you'd like to come up. Okay, thank you.
Second bid is Finn and Brown. Total base bid amount of $946,048.25, with an alternate number 1 of $16,773. Third bid is Brooks Construction Company. Base bid total, $696,124.79. I am not seeing an alternate number 1 on this one. We'll take these bids under review and consideration, and then come back with a recommendation on which bid to accept.
Okay. We can do that at the March 12th meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be available up here for your inspection afterwards if you're a bidder. And then we'll take those, make their recommendation on March 12th at that meeting. County Administrator Marcia McSherry.
Yes, I have one item for you from Johnson Controls. This has to do with the air handler unit 10 on the roof of the Justice Building. We have to replace the VFD, which is the variable frequency drive. Basically, that's a very expensive switch. We need to have that replaced before the weather turns to spring. That includes all electrical and controls and services. And also it includes the commissioning of this unit once it's been replaced. And that amount is $9,394.90.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of the controls from Johnson Controls for our HVAC in the Justice Building.
I would second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Bob Conley, aye.
Kerry Groeninger, aye.
Brad Jackson, aye.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Anything further? Thank you, Marcia. Appreciate that. County Auditor? Okay, thank you, Rhonda. Any office holder or department head have business with the commissioners this morning? Seeing none. Anybody else have any business with the commissioners this morning? Can I ask a question? Certainly. May not get an answer, but you can ask questions.
Dan Spalding with News Now Warsaw. So in the past few months, the county has hired a financial consultant to look at long-term finances. I believe the county has formed a committee, and all along, I keep hearing that there's some long-term projects in the works. There was a county commissioners meeting a few weeks ago. I thought it would come up then, but it didn't. So could you give me an idea of maybe what you're looking at in terms of projects?
Well, I think the main thing that we're trying to do with the strategic plan committee that we've fired up is trying to look at what we need to be doing from a perspective on our county buildings and our properties, just trying to look to the future of what we might need with that, as well as our bridges, as our current funding for our Cume Bridge Fund is a little bit slim for all the bridges we need to replace, as well as we look to try and promote development around the county, whether that's in the 1300 North, whether that's west of Warsaw, that we have the funds and a plan in place to be able to develop and, truly not just maintain Kosciuszko County, but truly grow it and create it into a place that people want to work, live, and play, so.
Are you specifically looking at any kind of jail expansion?
I mean, that's not on, I mean, I'm not, so we won't look at it, but that's not something that we see on the near horizon that we're going to be trying to tackle. I mean, it's one of those things that, you know, the sheriff is kind of tasked with that we're going to be looking into that and what that might look like in the future to make sure as we're doing projects, we have that planned out and we have the things in the dollars to be able to accomplish that in the future.
Okay. And one other question about the parking lot that was
Yes.
discussed with
Yes.
the bids. What is that about? Could you explain?
That's the Justice Building, so right across the street, our main parking lot for our county employees and visitors. To the north of that, it's just that parking lot was built back in the 80s, right, when they
Yeah,
built the original.
parking lot, we've
Original
never done anything
parcel,
with it.
so it's just in need of an update, you know, overlay, some curbs, some sidewalk, making it safer for the employees to be able to cross the street with some crosswalks, as well as incorporating the additional area around the old, I guess it's still current, the Enterprise rental car. So just trying to look at how we can improve that parking, because parking is we do need more parking, especially as some of these new developments start to happen downtown. Some of the areas we are using will be under construction hopefully later this year if good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. So hopefully we're able to, we're just trying to be prepared for our employees to have a place to park.
Okay, thank you for your help.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks for the questions. Anything further?
I don't have the number in front of me right now, but I mean, the low bid was at or below the engineer's estimate.
Yeah, those are the bids we just opened and took under advisement. Yeah, so, okay. Anything further? Hearing none, we'll see you back here in 2 weeks on March 12th.
Right. Good morning. Yep, thanks.
Take good care, Dan.
Again.